Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Today I'm playing Duwin's Subject 9 Hunter, or Secret Hunter. And Duwin is a player that I follow on Twitter, I follow him on YouTube, I follow him on Hearthstone. I'm friends with him on the EU server and I've featured his decks before on my channel. He's a great player and I've learned an awful lot just by spectating his games. Hunter is a class that he seems to be a real expert in. So if you enjoy playing the Hunter class, do yourselves a favour and follow him and you can learn a lot like I've done. So he's been messing around with Secret Hunter recently, or Subject 9 Hunter, and different iterations of the deck have been published on Twitter and on Hearthstone. On the right hand side is an older version of the deck that used to have Sylvanus and Professor Putricide, which is really interesting. More recent versions of the deck you can see on the left hand side with Azalina Soul Thief, and this is a deck that intrigues me. So let's start out at the beginning. You've got secrets, and lots of them. Secret Keeper synergizes well with the secrets, the Cloaked Huntress as well, and the Emerald Spellstone. Emerald Spellstone, at least for me, is always a card that I try and keep in the mulligan, because if you do end up at a point where you can just play lots of early secrets, you buff the Spellstone, and on turn 5, having 4 3/3 wolves or 3/3 bodies on the board can just be game winning if your opponent can't answer them. Subject 9 is also in this deck to draw your secrets. Subject 9 and Cloaked Huntress go very well together. Lotheb in this deck, incredibly useful at blocking enemy spells, and you'll see a couple of examples of that in this video. Azalina Soul Thief, a wonderful refill of your hand, because with this deck you can get through your cards very, very quickly and find that you've run out of fuel. Azalina Soul Thief is a great refill. And of course, let's not forget Deathstalker Rexar for that infinite value from zombie beasts. Now, let's look at this first little clip. Going up against a priest here, it is a big priest. And what this clip illustrates is the pressure that you can put on in the first few turns of the game. He had Barnes, but it wasn't enough, because what I've managed to develop on the board are some minions with reasonable attack stats, and I've managed to put him under a ridiculous amount of pressure. Going into his turn 5, he would really need a resurrection effect to get the obsidian statue back. But even then, given his health total, there is still a chance that if I draw a second quick shot, that I can kill him. I also have Deathstalker Rexar to start discovering beasts that can do burst damage. Clearly, he didn't have any kind of resurrection effect, and so we won the game. Feels pretty good. Okay, this next game is against another priest, and the reason I'm featuring 2 highlights here with priests is because priests are everywhere. Big Priest on the Wild Mode ladder has really ascended to the top of the food chain after Combo Druid has pretty much disappeared. And we've got Lotheb in hand, and we've also got the Spellstone in hand too. All we're sort of lacking is secrets. So we start hunting. Now, I was tempted by the Explosive Trap just because it would synergize immediately with my Secret Keeper and with my Spellstone, but actually, if we can be patient, taking Subject 9 here could pay dividends in the long run.
Come, midnight.
So no secrets here to go with the Huntress, but just putting a little bit of pressure on board. I'm conscious it's turn 4, and I'm conscious we could see a Barnes. like in the previous game, but there is no barns here. That's good news for us. So now, we just go for value. Okay, so drawing 5 secrets here. And he wasn't able to kill my secret keeper. I mean, he may not have seen it as a threat if he had a way to remove it early. But now we've just pushed a ridiculous amount of damage to the face. Our Spellstone is buffed. We have Loatheb in hand, and we're keeping Loatheb ready for next turn. So if he's got... Well, that's a spell. Okay, that's a Spirit Lash. But if he's got another spell in hand that he's waiting to cast, so if he's got Shadow Essence, we've now blocked him completely. And now there's really nothing he can do. This is pretty much game over. One regret, though, is that I didn't get to use Azalina Soul Thief. It really would have been nice to have emptied my hand and then taken copies of his big minions. That would have been fun. Okay, let's look at this last highlight. So we've seen 2 games against a priest where we've been able to dominate. We're now going up against a shaman who has a pretty cool name, Hopping Around. So I'm looking for secrets now, but Deathstalker Rexar's always good. But I'm looking for secrets because I want to buff up that Spellstone. That's not a secret. Come on. This deck runs a multitude of secrets. Surely we can draw into at least one. That's not a secret either. So like in the previous game, I'm playing Cloaked Huntress without any secrets, because it represents a little bit of pressure. Wow, okay, so he cast Evolve on that one minion. He recognises how threatening she could be, perhaps? So it's between the Houndmaster Shaw and the secret there. Shaw puts another bit of pressure on the board. It may force him to overextend here to try and deal with Shaw. And we are playing against an Evolve Shaman. You don't see many of them around anymore. So we could play the Spellstone and clear this board. The sad thing about this play is we're only getting 2 wolves. So we could play the Stitch Tracker and the Secret, but I think this is better just because we get a board clear. But instead of 4 wolves, we only got 2. So half the value. Slow turn from him. Okay, so we're in good shape now. We've found another Spellstone. This is good.
That's incredible.
Subject 9. I'm taking the Secret Keeper just because I know I can buff it this turn. And we buff our Spellstone as well. And that's really unfortunate for him. So now we just go wild on the board here. We've just seen 1 Lightning Storm. I guess he's unlikely to have another one in hand. And even if he does clear this board, we have Deathstalker Rexar in hand. So we can start generating the zombie beasts and just getting long-term infinite value. We have Azalina Soul Thief in hand as well, so we can copy his hand. But his turns are incredibly slow here. He's clearly waiting to combo another Evolve effect with other cards, so we take advantage of his slowness.
Fresh meat.
And we'll just be cautious here. We'll kill the totem. 3 secrets up. And you know what's coming here. Yep, it is Evolve. And unfortunately, whilst his play there would normally be good in terms of generating board presence, it was just a little bit too late. It was just too slow. And there's round 3. Right, so Duwin's Subject 9 Hunter. What do I think of this deck overall? I love this deck. I really do. I love the whole secrets aspect, the whole secret synergy that dominates this deck. It's just tremendous fun to play, and I have a soft spot for Hunter as a class. Hunter was the first class that I played when I started playing Hearthstone back in, 2014. Those are the good old days of Undertaker Hunter, for those of you that remember that. Now, since then, I think Hunter generally has lagged behind a little bit compared to the other classes. So if you just think back historically, we've had, what have we had? Secrets Paladin, Aggro Shaman, Combo Druid, Pirate Warrior. We've had various metas that have come and then disappeared, and these other classes that have stormed ahead at various points. And Hunter, in my opinion, has always lagged slightly behind. We had the Reno Lock era as well. But Hunter has always been a solid choice, running in the background a bit compared to some of these other classes that have their day to shine, but still solid regardless. And this is an example of a perfectly solid deck that can do a lot of work. And I think where this deck shines is that people don't expect it. You know, Secrets Hunter is not a common deck that you face, and therefore people don't prepare to tech against it. And when you can start doing things that are unexpected in a deck, like playing Azalina Soul Thief and stealing your opponent's hand, or a copy of it, you sort of throw them off track, and you get a bit of a psychological advantage going, and that can just be enough to win the game. Other cards in this deck that are great choices: Lotheb, blocking out resurrection effects from a big priest. That's a big deal. Blocking a psychic scream, an even bigger deal. Blocking a spreading plague from a druid. That's huge. So this deck, it does well because of some of the deck building decisions that have been taken by Duwin, and they are sensible decisions. They are decisions that make sense given the state of the meta. And I'm sure Duwin will continue to evolve this deck over time, depending on what other decks are being played out there in the meta. So yeah, do yourselves a favour, follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, I think he's on Twitch, follow him on YouTube, follow him on Hearthstone, and I've learnt a lot spectating him in-game on EU server. I've watched him play decks and, certainly expanded my knowledge about Hunter. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope hope you'll give Secret Hunter a try. It's certainly effective. And I'll see you guys all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.